Hello, happy Friday. Coming in live again. It's day 4 of 8 for the How to Live and Love Your Brand course launch. And I am going live today. Hi, Leisha. Hopefully chatting to one of my lovely course members. Leisha, I might throw you in the deep end in a sec. But she might be just held up. So in the meantime, I'm going to share a little bit of information. I do wish that I could get this better located. So anyway, if you didn't know already, I'm Emma Lovell. I'm a personal branding specialist and I help female entrepreneurs to share their message and their mission. I help you share your unique personal brand with the world. Hi Leah, nice to see you. So today I'm going to be talking about how it feels to build your brand. And actually it's lovely to see a couple of clients here who've worked with me. If you didn't see my post on Instagram today, you would see, go and have a look. There are some lovely, very generous and kind words of testimonial about what it's like to go through the Live and Love Your Brand program, to work with me and what it feels like, to have your brand out there. So I have run a couple of different lives this week and I ran a webinar yesterday, and if you're really keen to see what that was all about, please drop me a note. I can email you the recording. It was really lovely and well received, so I hope to do some more webinars and masterclasses in the future because there's definitely lots to share. And actually might just, while I'm waiting for my lovely guest, share 2 of my favorite tips that I was talking about on there. Well, my first tip is to head to the link in bio and get yourself the brand audit guide, because that's what we went through. To understand where you want to go with your brand, you've got to understand where you are now. And knowing what your brand currently is and how people are currently perceiving you is quite important. You might find that, and one of the lovely things Leisha might be able to comment, when you start this process and when you start to look back over what you've done, of course, whenever I start these things, the leaf blower starts, they say that's just a rule. You're going to record something live, it's going to be noise. Anywho, I hope you can't hear that too much. But when you start to do this process and you start to look back over, and dig into who you are and all the skills and experience and knowledge that you have, when you look over the past, you actually find that you do have a lot of these amazing qualities. You do have a lot to offer, and that you just hadn't really thought about it for a while or hadn't really maybe even been asked. So doing this brand audit gives you the chance to look back and to realize that actually you have so much to offer the world. You actually do have things to say. I think that's the other thing my clients, I'm just going to close that window. Hold on a sec. Okay, that was very distracting for me. Back. So if you do realize that you have things to say and things to share and things that you can talk about, and it's just sometimes you can't see the wood through the trees. Like, you're so close to the content yourself, or to you it comes naturally. I know Leisha has this experience, and I'm sure Leah you do too, where that's not, that doesn't everybody know that, or I do that all the time. But other people don't know that. They don't know how we work or what we do or the skills and experience that we have if we don't tell them. So sharing your knowledge could really support someone else. And I feel like if you put your message out there, if you start showing up, and you can have an impact on one person. If you could just help one other person with what you have to offer, isn't that such a beautiful gift to the world? So have a think about something that you might think is, something that you're really good at. And we actually went into this with shout it from the treetops, absolutely. And Leisha and Leah, we both went through this recently. The strengths, when you look at your strengths, things that you take for granted that come naturally to you, other people find really challenging. And so if you can help them with those things or encourage them, one of my strengths is woo, woo. And hence why you might have seen some of my posts, I am a cheerleader for other people, because being energized, motivating, encouraging, feeling excited, getting passionate about things, that comes very naturally to me. And so I can stand here and cheer you on and see what you're doing and how great it is, and recognize it and cheer you on. And I guess so often for my clients, I actually am just a mirror. I'm a mirror for them. And I have this analogy, which I don't know if I've shared it on the blog yet, but I will if I haven't. I call it the dirty mirror. And it was with another colleague who we sort of came up with it. I'm actually the cloth. So you've been looking at a dirty mirror. So, you know, with the roles and titles and all the things that happen in life, the mirrors become cloudy and you can't really see yourself the way others see you. The image is distorted. So what I help you do is I come along with my cloth, or I am the cloth, and we clean up that mirror. We get it clear for you. We find you clarity. Oh, there we go. Hi, Leslie. Leslie's going to join us any minute. Let me see if I can request her to join. There we go. Yes, Leslie's going to join us. That's fun. I'll just finish off telling the analogy though. So yeah, I'm going to come along, clean up that mirror for you so that you can see yourself clearly again. So asking the questions that you need to be asked, looking at all of your things, you know, looking at all of your past experiences, your current achievements, what you're doing, how you're showing up. We can look at all of that together. We can find clarity, and then we can help you share that. That's so wonderful. So yes, so you might currently be looking in the dirty mirror. If you can't find how the words to talk about yourself, or how to put yourself forward, or where to start, then you need to have somebody to support you. And, you know, that's what I do for people. I'm a personal branding coach, if you will. And in the group program, we have group coaching calls where we dig through this stuff. We do our brand audits, we do our work, but we come together and we talk about it. And there's something about stepping back and seeing the whole picture and being able to pull out those pieces. And you can't necessarily do that on your own because you're just too close to it. And when people start to talk about themselves, you go, that's really important. I didn't know that about you. Oh, that's something really great. We could share that. Oh, that's a way that you can talk about who you are. Give me 2 secs. There we go. I'm just going to try and get Leslie back in. She's trying to come. There you are.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Welcome.
Thank
it's so
you.
Nice to see you.
I was trying to request to join, and it just kept saying, request denied, request denied.
You're like, but I'm here.
And I'm like,
but you're here now.
I am. I'm sorry I'm so late. Crazy Friday.
No, hello. We've got some other people joining, so that is awesome. Thank you for joining us here. Hi, gorgeous Fiona. We've got Leisha. We've got Leah. We've got, I don't know your name, Buzz Pringle Sound Design, but I would love to.
Hello, Buzz.
So let's start off with that horrible question that everybody loves me asking. Who are you? And then also tell me how we know each other.
It's such a loaded question, isn't it? My name is Leslie. I am a voice casting expert and audio post-producer. I have an unhealthy obsession with musical theatre, and I'm a wannabe athlete and an audio producer with a background in talent management. That's who I am. And we met through the gorgeous Business Chicks community and subsequently started working together through Business Club. So that's how we met.
Yay. Yes, I love it. And you're wearing your signature headphones today.
I am.
If we see Leslie without the headphones, I don't know if we recognize it. No.
True. And I can't even do calls anymore without these headphones. People call and I'm like, I'm sorry, I've just got to put my headphones in.
Is it like, it's like your security blanket? Maybe it's like your costume. It's like Sasha Fierce. When you put that on, your Sasha Fierce. I love it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get you here today, Leslie, to just talk about you did come and work with me, and it was a joy. But I wanted to just understand, I guess, where you were at and why you thought you needed to work on your personal brand and how things have sort of gone since. But let's start with, where were you at before we started working together, and what was that push to start working on your brand?
So I started my business, the Casting Chambers, in late 2019, right before COVID hit. Thanks for that, COVID. But I've always known that brand was important, having come from a background in advertising, and everything is about brand. So I knew that I had a brand. I knew that brand was important. But I guess for me, and I knew my messaging was really clear. So I started all of these different things and done searched online and done all of the right things to go through the process of sort of trying to establish what your brand and my message was. But then I just got completely confused by it, to be honest. And I had so many things on the go. I knew I needed someone to just look at everything and sort of grab it and bring it all back into place and kind of put it into a clear message and help me sort of get through the clutter, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And I think something that was coming up as well was that desire to share the business, but maybe the hesitation in sharing that you were behind the business and that you were the owner and that it was about, that it was about you.
Yeah. And wrestling with that and knowing that it's okay to be the face of your business, and important that you are the face of your business, as you taught me early on in the process, because without that, why would people come and work with the casting chambers?
Yeah.
If they don't know who the casting chambers is, and that essentially is me. So I, all throughout my work career, I'd always been working in small business, but everyone sort of made themselves look bigger than they needed to be. And I think there's been a real shift towards, the person of the business being the face of the business and being okay with that. There's no need for all the smoke and mirrors anymore. I think we're all a lot smarter than that now.
Yeah.
Business wise, basically.
Yeah. And of course there's room to grow with that. Like, you can add a team and you can have more people, but in the start, let's be honest, they're going to be getting you. And who wouldn't want you? You're an amazing expert with 20 years of experience. And the thing was that I guess when we worked together, you started to see like how many connections that you actually had and how many ways that you could work with people, that maybe that was getting, that had been forgotten, because it was like, oh, I've got to put the business out there. I've got to put the business out there. But it was like, why don't we just talk to people who have worked with you?
Exactly. And actually being okay with that and sort of going through that process of reconciling that, yep, it's about you and you are great and that's okay. And that's what we should be focusing on, because it's a little bit scary as well. You're like, oh, really? Me? Can I just hide behind this logo?
No,
doesn't work like that anymore.
Not on my watch. But hearing you say that is so lovely as well. You said you are great. I'd love to hear you say I am great, because I know you have said that.
I am
you are. You're fantastic. I mean, I'm getting first-hand experience of it because you've been supporting me with my podcast, and it's so, it's so lovely to see someone that in their element. Like when you see somebody, because we don't get to see that very often. When people are doing their work, we don't actually get to see it. But when you get to experience someone in their zone of genius, doing the thing that they're really awesome at, and the thing that they really love, it's really actually, it's joyous and it flows, and it's sort of, there's an energy to it.
Yeah, there certainly is. And I mean, I'm really lucky. I love what I do. And I can't imagine not loving what I do. And I think that's a really important part of the branding process as well, because if you don't love what you do, you're bringing yourself to everything that you do, and that's personal branding right there. But having been an employee as well, you're sort of doing everything for everybody else and turning that all around and actually getting people to see you in your, as you say, in your zone of genius, and loving what they do really builds your personal brand and a strong connection for other people to want to work with you, which is nice.
And something that's interesting as well, I think, is, it can be seen as this sort of shameless self-promotion, or, even the word promotion people don't like promoting myself, when actually, when we go through it and we go through and write down, what have you done in the past? What is your experience? It's just like, fact, I have been in this industry for 20 years. Fact, I can help you find your brand voice. Fact, I can do post-production. Fact, I have worked with these clients. They're just facts. You're not making it up, and you're not exaggerating it. It's just like, yeah, fact, really love this work, and actually I'm bloody good at it.
Good at it. Yeah. Exactly.
And fact, if you worked with me, I would do a really great job for you.
Yeah.
And I'm actually really lovely to work with too,
And there's a strong personal brand right there. I love that. Lovely by name, lovely by nature.
I was talking about you
so many times.
I used my lovely, I used my word then, but, and tell us, you actually worked on this. I think you wrote it in the webinar yesterday too, but what are your 3 words? If we had to describe you, how would you describe yourself?
Dedicated, genuine, and curious. They're my 3 words. And it took me a long time to find those. And it was interesting, the work that we did, 2 of those words came up when we went through the exercise of speaking to other people. So that's always nice to have that connection when you're doing the work as well.
It is, and it's one of the, it's a tip that I've brought up a few times, the 3 words, but it was another tip that I was actually going to share before you jumped on. And it was something that we've just talked about earlier, but that's so important, and it's something that people just don't do, and something I make my clients do. It's non-negotiable. Testimonials and recommendations. Getting those past, those words from other people. And I think where people get stuck, and I know this was a challenge with you too, is that where you're like, oh, but I did this work for them then, and it was in this context. So, but now I'm doing this work with clients. So it's not the same, or I don't have any clients yet because I'm just starting my business. How do I write a testimonial?
Yeah.
Like, how do I get a testimonial for when I haven't done the work? And it's like, you have 20 years of experience. Like, surely at some point somebody has said something nice about you.
Yeah. Hope so. And it's true, they have. And it's getting past, for me, that process as well was getting past that kind of weird sticking point of actually having the guts to ask someone to say something nice about you. Why do we have trouble with that?
And I used to ask my dad to do it. My dad was, CEO, and he was like, oh no, like, and it was that thing of that tall poppy syndrome or whatever, and my dad is English, so maybe it's a bit of that, but it's that, oh no, I can't ask people to say things about me, and I can't then put it all over the internet. And it's like, but who is going to if you don't?
Exactly.
Who's going to stand here? I mean, I've got some amazing people here, and I know you do it for me too, that there are people out there saying lovely things about me. But actually, I put up a bunch of testimonials today. The only reason I have those is because I asked you.
Yeah.
So why are we not asking people just for honest, even feedback, or words about, and the tip I give on these when you're asking for these testimonials and recommendations is to ask about you. Because yes, you have these skills. Yes, you can do your job. That is awesome. Yes, you completed this contract and delivered it on time. Amazing. But how is Leslie to work with?
Yeah.
Who is she as a person? And why would somebody else want to work with her?
Sorry. Exactly. Yeah.
And when you do that, like, how did it feel when you actually did reach out, or like, I think go back through and find some of those words and recommendations that people had given you in the past?
It's interesting asking how you feel, because you put on your big girl pants and you send out the emails and you ask, and then you get responses back, and they're always really, lovely responses, because I like to think that people don't write these testimonials, just because you ask them, because they genuinely, that's their experience of working with you. So it's nice to see the value that you add, because I don't think personally people see the value that they provide or that they add to businesses or, to their own business until you sort of see those testimonials. And it's that reassurance that, oh yeah, actually, I do all right.
That's such a nice thing you said as well, like understanding the value. And I know Leisha went through this recently, but like, for them as well, what a gift to give them the opportunity to say thank you, and to give them the opportunity, and people just don't know how to do it. And so sometimes you've just got to put it under their nose. And I actually send, as you know, I send my clients an email and I say, this is what you say. You ask for them and you tell them where to go. Go to LinkedIn. There's an actual like application, request a recommendation. Go and do that. Then you go to Facebook, there's a review, or there's Google My Business, or just simply write it back in an email, but this is what I'm asking for. If you're asking this open-ended question like, oh, can you say some stuff about me? It's a bit hard. But if you say, can you tell me what it was like to work with me? How you felt working with me, or what was the experience, or what was one of your key takeaways? Something like that.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Exactly.
That, you can, as long as you're not dying on us.
No, totally fine. I haven't coughed all day and suddenly here we are.
It's always the way. But that like it's such a gift for both of you that you got to ask that, and then that they got to give you that, and it's just that providing that framework in which to do it. Exactly. And so, and even I think we think as well, we think about it so limitedly in terms of like the people that we've the way we've worked with people, so the clients that you've worked with, or oh no, but that was under the umbrella of, but it's like, but still you worked with that colleague, and they know what it's like to work with you, or to collaborate with you, or to partner with you, or however you want to phrase it. I mean, now you can tell us a little bit about the organization you're with, that association that also has qualifications and skills that are related to it, that people could testify that you are good at it. I've seen you speak.
And it's interesting as well that the things that you learn and the areas that you probably thought you excelled in or maybe didn't excel in, other people actually thought you did really well.
Yeah.
As well. So that's nice.
So tell us about Women in Voice.
So Women in Voice is a global organisation that supports females working in the voice tech space. It's an up-and-coming, voice is an up-and-coming industry. We're going to hear more and more about it. And basically, we had no representation down here in Australia. So a group of us got together to start the Australia and New Zealand chapter. So we have quarterly events and catch-ups. We started it during COVID. So we haven't been able to do any in real life events yet, but hopefully as of next week, that will start to change. But it's just a group of lovely women who support each other and help each other through navigating the voice tech space, which is a brand new area that there are no rules for yet. So
you get to make the rules. That's so
that's
cool.
the fun part.
It's so cool, and it's so good that you get to share that your knowledge and experience in that different way.
Yeah.
And now tell me as well, one of the things that I loved hearing about when working with you was about brand voice, and that, because obviously I talk about personal branding, but that, but your brand can have a voice. So can you just tell us a bit more about that?
It's interesting when I was thinking about this question this morning, and if we can talk about brand voice for business, but in actual fact, let's talk about brand voice, your personal brand voice. Sorry. We know that businesses have a brand voice, and that's important. And usually when people are talking about brand voice, they're talking about the words that they write and sort of how they show up online through their imagery or the words that they say. But people very rarely think about how their brand sounds, and that's just as important. Voice is part of your DNA. I mean, it really is. It's part of your DNA, and we make judgments about how people sound just on their voice. Like, how often have you hung up the phone from a call with someone and you've either gone, well, they're having a bad day, or, oh my gosh, they were amazing to deal with. Right there, without even thinking about it, we've made a judgment on someone based on how they sound without knowing who they are. So that's the importance of how your brand sounds as well. And you can relate that to personal branding as well.
Yeah. And it's something we explored is tone and the tone of voice. And sometimes I think, especially when we're trying to be professional, and email's a big place, because I think a lot of people, when they work with personal brand, they're thinking of only online. But no, your tone comes up on the phone, in your writing, in your interactions, how you show up on a networking event. So you can't walk into an event and be all like, and then come along and, you look like you don't want to be there, but you sound like you want to be there, or like vice versa. You look really excited, but your tone is really monotone. And so it's interesting. I think you loved this. the way that people receive us is in three ways. There's visual, vocal, and verbal. And your visual is quite obvious.
Yep.
But that's facial and your body and everything. Like, you know, your body's saying something without you saying anything. Your verbal, which is the actual words, and
Yep.
the vocal, which is how it sounds or how it comes across in the tone. And it was so interesting because visual, most people guess that's probably going to be pretty important. 55%.
Yep.
So whether we like it or not, how we show up visually does make a difference.
Important.
7% though is the words, the actual words that you're saying. So by the time you're actually working out, we get so worried about the actual, like, every single word.
Exactly.
Actually, if we're not even caring about how we say it, then they're not even going to hear it anyway. So they could have already switched off because of the way you showed up on camera. They could have already switched off because once you start talking, it doesn't match the words don't match the way you're saying it, because it's about, oh, my maths is going to be really bad here, 38%. 38% is vocal. Like, that's crazy.
Yep. And you were like, don't think about it. I'm like, yes.
See, it's important.
It's so important. It's a complete package. And, you know, I think that's the important thing to remember for personal branding as well, is that everyone, like you always say, everyone has a personal brand, but also everybody has a brand voice. And it's whether or not you're in control of it. So you've got to look at it holistically.
Yeah, and it's so lovely if you do write something, you know, if you write an email and they're like, oh, I just felt like I could hear you saying it, or if there's an article, like you can hear the author, the person saying it, and you don't have to be unique. It doesn't have to be unique, but it has to be you. And if you're trying to write like someone else or try to sound like someone else, I've got to be very professional today. I'm going to write my professional thing, and lose yourself. They can feel that disconnect.
Yeah.
You know, so the more that you can channel, it's so, you know, it does come down to being quite simple, doesn't it? When you strip it all back, it's just you.
Yeah. But going through that process and that journey is super scary, but also really kind of invigorating and empowering at the same time. So you do, like, I went through your program going, oh, I have no idea what, like, all of these things are so confusing. And if I couldn't make sense of it, how are my clients going to make sense of it? How would they know what I stand for and what I do and who I am? So I needed all that clutter to be sort of separated and regrouped into a clear, concise message that I felt comfortable going out and going, yes, this is who I am. This is what I do. And then, you know, it's still a little bit challenging sometimes to put some of that stuff out there. I'm not going to lie, but I am slowly getting better at it. So,
and it's practice, and that's something that, you know, I'm very honest about as well. I'm sure, you know too. But, like, you know, coming and doing the program, doing the course, you're going to get all those tools and those strategies. But the way that it's going to work, the only way, if you just go and work on your messaging and then put it in a box and go, yep, great, I've got my personal brand, I know who I am, done. No, you have to show up. You have to practice it. You have to keep trying, because at the start it is probably going to feel a bit awkward, a bit uncomfortable, a bit like, oh, you know, is this how I want to say it? And that's the cool thing, is that it's you, it doesn't matter. You get to keep trying, and sometimes it'll land, sometimes it won't, but if you don't do it at all, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. And it's true, you constantly evolve as a person, so your brand's constantly going to evolve, and it's always your business is always going to have a little bit of you in there, as you say. And that was a really kind of important lesson for me to learn.
You can't separate them.
You can't separate them.
No.
Which is good, because that's what will set you up moving forward. But also you have to keep working on it, is the one thing that I've learned as well. And it's like training. And I think I might have said that once in one of my feedback comments, that, like, you're like a personal trainer for brands, for your personal brand. And it's true, you constantly have to keep working on it to get those results.
Yeah. So keep showing up, keep practicing, keep putting it out there, doing the exercises and doing the audit, which I've plugged it at the start. I'll plug it again, and I've got to send it to you, actually, my new brand audit checklist. So every 3 months, go and review what's your brand is saying about you, what's on your socials, what's in your email signature, what's on your website. Like, how often do people not even look at their own website? Like, what does it say? And if you're expecting other people to receive your message and to go and look at you and to get an impression of you, why are you not going and checking and having a look at it yourself as well?
Exactly. I'm not going to lie, that was one of my most favorite parts of the program, was getting to Google myself.
I know, and I sillily said it, well, not sillily, it's one of my steps in the brand audit, but I said it on the webinar yesterday, and I had to be like, you know, the teacher, come on, class, come back.
Because we all went off and were like, oh, Google.
Googling myself, oh, look at me there. I said, quite fun, but focus for now, please. So after this live, you can all go and Google.
Everyone, do it. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
But for now, I want you to tell me, how can we connect with you?
I am on Instagram, obviously, at Leslie Casts Voices. I'm also on LinkedIn under Leslie Chambers, and I don't have a professional Facebook page because I'm sticking to a few channels and doing those really well. So LinkedIn and Instagram are the two best places to get me.
Website?
And if you just website at thecastingchambers.com. We just talked about the website and I forgot about it.
See? Brand audit. I love it. You were absolutely a joy to work with. This is why I love doing what I'm doing, going on that journey with you, seeing those aha moments, and to see you continuously using it and showing up. And you know, look, you know, at least, you know, giving it a go and showing, like, please don't think that you have to show up to the degree that I am. One, this is launch week and it's crazy and I'm out here a lot. But two, it's what you feel comfortable with and what you can manage. So if it's twice a week, once a week, get a consistent, like, if you can consistently show up for your audience, you will build that trust, you will build that relationship, and you will increase your connections.
Absolutely. And it definitely does work. And thank you, because the program has been amazing. I've got clear messaging. I've got a personal trainer for my brand now, who I will be booking in a call with again shortly to review some stuff, by the way. But yeah, so thank you for everything that you've given me and taught me. I really love it. And I can't wait till this program goes live. I think everybody needs to get on board with it, because we all have a personal brand and it's all very important in our everyday life.
I so appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Nigel. Yep, your authentic, sustainable self will always triumph. I absolutely agree. What a great comment to end on. Thank you, everyone. If you're watching the replay, #replay, pop your questions in the comments or send me a message. Happy to chat. Leslie can testify to that. I can talk to anyone for any length of time.
Thank you for being here. That's for you.
Thank you, lovely one.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.